What's going on, mixed reaction community? Normally, it's myself, Sean Gardner, and Justin Duncan and Casey Merritt. Well, it's been me, Casey, and Justin for like the last 2 months. We miss you, Sean. But today, this is a special edition because we're getting down the home stretch of the football season. It is myself, Ian Blackwell, your mixed reactions co-host, five-time welterweight, and then we have Josh Blackwell. This is my actual brother. So, welcome to the show, Josh. He's a big Steelers fan.
Thank you for having me, big dog. Yeah, let's get it. I've been wanting to. It's always a pleasure talking about ball, whether that be football or basketball or whatever. Just shooting the shit. But can I cuss? Is that allowed?
Oh yeah, totally. We fucking cuss up in
Oh
here
yeah,
all the
fuck yeah,
time.
fuck yeah, for sure. Yeah, but yeah, that's I'm hyped to just talk. Me and you and I just talk on the phone all the time, anyways. But it's cool to do it for a little bit of content, a little bit of whatever it is.
Yeah,
Let's get
no,
it.
I agree. This is the type of content they want. And I think what a lot of people wanted was Patrick Mahomes to not be in the Super Bowl. Well,
Right.
that might happen again. This
Hmm.
would be his. What were we talking about earlier? This would be his fourth, or he has this. No, this would
This will
be
be
his
his fourth
fourth appearance.
appearance.
Right, in the Super Bowl because he won his first one, lost to Tampa, won last year. So, yeah, it's crazy. The Chiefs, I think this year they've probably had a better defense than they did. They have Patrick Mahomes' entire career. Um, I think, I personally have Kansas City. I think they're going to pull it off, but it is a bit concerning about how they're going to be able to stop Lamar Jackson. Of the 182 rushing yards that Buffalo had, 72 of them were from Allen. So having to face a team with arguably a more dangerous runner and a Baltimore team that's top in the league in just about
Mm.
every defensive category, at the top of the league in just about every defensive category, it's
Hmm.
going to be interesting to see how. Um, yeah, how well Kansas City's really able to do again. I think the key matchup of the game is going to be Kansas City's offense against Baltimore's defense, and Kansas City and how they do against Lamar Jackson. Because
Definitely.
they really didn't show any signs to be able to stop Josh Allen last week. If you look at that game, both teams were pretty even across the board. It's just Tyler Bass obviously missing that field goal, but that game could have gone either way. The Chiefs were just fortunate enough to win it, so they're in the position again. But what did you think watching that Chiefs Bills game last week?
Yeah, like you said, they were both teams did look pretty even, like across the board. Um, I felt it was kind of a weird year for the Chiefs and the Bills. I feel like because both teams at certain points like looked beatable. Like me and you were talking middle of the season about Super Bowl matchups potentially who we're gonna see at the end of the season, and I was very strong on the Dolphins. The Dolphins just looked unbeatable. You know what I mean? But things happen. They're a little inexperienced, and the Bills end up showing that they show their experience towards the end of the year. And remind did the Bills beat the Dolphins in Miami, correct, to win the
And
division in
to win the
2018?
division, the Bills went from because Justin on our show before the season, I think he said the Bills are going to miss the playoffs. And when it what about week I want to say 13 or so, we were like, "Oh shit, you might be right." And then they just turned it around. They ended up getting the 2 seed. They obviously took it to Pittsburgh, and lost a game that I think they could have won. I mean, that's a good team, but anybody in the AFC that's going to have to go through Mahomes, it's good luck. I mean, same thing with the NFC to go through the Niners.
Yeah, like so basically back to that, like the Bills showed their experience by being able to win that game for the division in Miami. And then my Steelers had the luck of the draw to sneak in the playoffs and have to face the Bills in Buffalo. And we gave it a little bit of a fight, but the Bills showed why they've won four straight. This is like their fourth straight division championship, right? If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
like
because they
four
won.
straight years or something like
It's like
that.
it's at least their second in a row. I mean, well, because the
Yeah,
year that they Who? Oh, it's the year they lost to Kansas City. Did they win that overtime game? Did they win the division that year? Because it wasn't New England. It wasn't
No,
Miami.
for
But yeah, they
sure.
had.
It was the Bills were already there, and yeah, but just with how both teams have gotten to this point, I think. Well, so the Bills are out now, but yeah, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, like you know, everybody. It feels like at a certain point, like the Chiefs were sort of an afterthought, like during in the AFC, low key, like um, the everybody is all buzzing over the Dolphins' high-powered offense. Tua puts up numbers. Tyreek is ridiculous again. And the Dolphins were really good for pretty much the whole year. But then the Chiefs catch their stride at the right time. I don't think it was ever really in doubt that the Chiefs were going to win their division and host a playoff game.
No, I don't
Um,
think the division. No, not at all.
right. Yeah, at least host one playoff game. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and I think they definitely had their defense has been a lot better than in years past. I feel like, and and they, like I said, they just hit their groove at the right time. There was a lot of hoopla, throughout the season about the Chiefs offense and get Pat Mahomes some help, whether it's Kadarius Toney or like Marquez Valdez Scantling, just guys who are not on the level of Tyreek Hill, who Tua had for those first two Super Bowl appearances. He still got Kelsey, but
Hmm.
I feel like I think Kelsey's still in his prime, probably towards the end of his prime, but he's
Yeah.
still a weapon and he can still turn up on anybody. And I feel like um, but I'm sorry. I hope I'm not repeating myself too much. But yeah, they just caught their groove at the right time, and you just can't count out Pat Mahomes. And here they are again. And last week in Buffalo was Patrick Mahomes' first ever road playoff game, which is nuts. That's crazy to think about just how dominant they've been in the AFC. But and Buffalo is not an easy place to play at all. That's on display every time the Bills host a game. But they've made it to this point off the strength of their experience and hitting the groove at the right time. The defense doing their thing. Chris Jones is always crazy good. They got guys like George Karlaftis. They're fucking they're who's it? Nick Bolton, who's been kind of emerging last couple of years, as far as I know.
Hmm.
But now they're meeting the Ravens, where I'll try to analyze it as unbiased as I can as a Steeler fan, but um, just uh, this has been like a perfect situation, and everything's just aligning for the Ravens this season. I feel ever since Lamar's unanimous MVP. Well, he was a unanimous MVP, right? It's like him and Brady are the only two unanimous MVPs
Oh,
ever.
when he won it that one year.
When he won it that one year,
He might have been
and
because he
I
was
think
easily the MVP that year.
I think he was. I'm pretty sure he was, and they've just it's just really worked out um, in the Ravens' favor this year. They've been pretty healthy all year. Lamar, I don't think he missed any games. He might have missed one game or something, but other than that, like he's just been. They say availability is the best ability is availability. Is that is that how the saying goes? I think so. And uh,
Yeah, but the funny thing is, if you didn't correct yourself, because initially you said LeBron, they would have known when you said never misses games. They
right,
would have
exactly. I would have been found out. Um, but Lamar, with him being healthy pretty much the whole year, and then finally having the Ravens had one big injury with Mark Andrews going out week 4 or week 5 or something like that. But Lamar has just had his supporting cast around him step up this year, and that's been the huge difference. They've stayed healthy. OBJ is not in his prime anymore, but he can still do a little something here and there. Zay Flowers is was going good. Was doing good all year. They've got their running backs. It seems. Who I'm trying to think. So I had Gus Edwards on my fantasy team, but who is their starting running back before that? I feel like their starting running back got hurt again, and then Gus
It
Edwards
was
had to be the
it's
starter.
Hill.
Justice Hill.
Hmm.
Okay, well, just regardless though, their offense has just been good all year, and Lamar finally. It's Lamar, and
Oh
now
wait,
Mark
is it
Andrews.
Justice Hill? Hold on.
No, there was another running back. I can't remember who it was though.
Not Edwards. Mitchell?
Ah, no, there was somebody even higher than Gus Edwards that starts.
Melvin
That
Gordon,
that gets
Flower. No.
hurt that gets hurt like every year. I feel like he's a running back that
Edwards, Mitchell, Hill, Gordon, Flowers, Huntley, J.K. Dobbins. Those are the only. Are you talking
oh
about
J.K.
J.K.
Dobbins.
Dobbins? Because he got
J.K.
hurt.
Dobbins.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. J.K. Dobbins is usually the starter, but he got hurt again
Yeah,
this
yeah,
year.
yeah. The
And then
first
Gus
game of the
Edwards come.
season.
Yeah, uh yeah, so it's no coincidence that the Ravens have had a relatively healthy year by their standards, and they're like the most dominant team, practically the most dominant team other than the 49ers, but they're on the opposite conference. So yeah, that's just kind of like that's just how we got to where we are, and I think it's going to be a really interesting game. And plus, the Ravens defense has been disgusting all year as well. They have perhaps the best linebacker duo in the league with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen.
Hmm.
Um, Kyle Hamilton is really good for them. I think Marlon Humphrey's back and he's been good. Um,
I
what's the
kind
guy's
of want to
name?
switch to Baltimore. Like, part of me is like, dude, the more I look at it, Baltimore right might really come out and just beat them down. But it's Patty
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes, and I'm like, if I'm gonna go out betting on Patty Mahomes, so be it.
Right.
Like,
The
I'll
the
swing and
Chiefs.
miss on that all day.
Uh
I'm
huh.
not gonna watch that man throw for 500 yards while I bet on the Ravens. If I
Right.
lose the bet, I lose the bet. But I'm betting on Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I mean, well, shit, they've come a long way too. You think about where they were after like losing to the Eagles. Like
Mm.
people were the drops starting to become really concerning, not just from Tony,
Yep.
from Kelsey, from MVS, and they could have beat the Eagles on that last play, but
Uh huh.
it's gonna be interesting. Who do you got for Chiefs Ravens?
Let's see. This is even like I told you I was trying to before we started like doing this actual call I was trying to come up with smart intelligent things to say and stuff and try to make a stance, but it's hard. But if I had to pick any team, I think I think the Chiefs they're gonna be in Baltimore, but I don't think them like Patrick Mahomes went in there and did his thing and just won in Buffalo, which is arguably even tougher to play and an even tougher environment to play in than Baltimore. So I think I'm going to give it to the Chiefs. I think they're going to squeak it out. It's going to be like 5 point, a 4 or 5 point win or something like that. That's
It's
my pick. My pick is the Chiefs.
it's gonna be so crazy here for the Super Bowl, bro. It's gonna be insane. Like, especially, I mean, because honestly, like, people don't want the Chiefs to the Super Bowl, but I mean, I don't. Maybe people are. I know people get mad at the refs, whatever. Like, that's a whole discussion for a different day. But like, I feel like the Chiefs being good is good for football. No disrespect to Lamar and the Ravens, they're great. They're doing their thing. But
Mm-hmm.
are they as great for television as the Chiefs? I don't even think it's close. The Chiefs are made
Right.
for TV. They have
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey, they have Mahomes, they have Taylor Swift at the games, they have the mom, they have the brother in their support. Like, the Chiefs are the most entertaining team in football right now. Not really necessarily to any credit of their own, but just because of the fact that Taylor Swift is dating. Like, they're easily the most visible
Right.
pro football team right now. Or I wouldn't even know if I'd say popular, because there's really people out there. Like, there's Facebook groups that I've like scrolled past, and there's groups out there like Kansas City Taylor Swift fans. So like
Yeah.
it's catching on, but
Yeah.
I don't really mind. People are getting mad about the NFL trying to appeal to that demographic. I don't really mind them doing that.
Yeah.
I did a school paper like not too long ago, and it's actually really surprising how many women, especially the new generation, it's just about even as far as men and women from, I think, what is it, Gen Z or something, that are sports
Uh-huh.
fans. Like, it's not disproportionate at all. But the Lions game, though, that's the one that I really am looking forward to.
Definitely me too.
The more it goes on, the more I'm starting to think like Casey. I think they might end up just getting their shit kicked in, but part of me, like, I still like what I've been seeing all year, and but it's the Niners. Like, I
From
feel like
the I'm sorry, you said you think that it's likely that the Lions will get blown out?
get their shit kicked in, yeah,
Yeah,
because it like we were talking about earlier. If the Lions win, it'll probably be, I have the Lions by 10. If the Niners win, it's gonna
it's going to
be
be ugly.
I think it's really going to come to who can set the tempo. If the Niners can jump on them early, they're going to have a long day. But if the Lions come out, have a good first few drives, score a touchdown or two, and they realize, like, no, we can actually play and move the ball pretty easily against this team, that's when
Hmm.
they become dangerous. But if they come out there the first couple of drives, Mahomes gets sacked, he throws a pick, he fumbles, like something like that happens, then they're gonna start to think in their head, are we just in over our head at this point? Like, and I think that's what teams start to become demoralized. But
For who? For the
Detroit, that
Lions? Or you mean
offense.
you said
Well, I
if
mean,
who
just
gets
any
sacked?
team. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
huh?
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Oh no, I was saying just any team. Like, you come out there and you're already knowing you're going against a better team, and they come and put they just go on you early. You were already like, oh shit, we don't belong, and now it kind of reaffirms those beliefs. But no, I think
Right.
Detroit comes out to get a couple of touchdowns early. Hutchinson has been amazing for the
Man,
Lions. St. Brown, top 5 receiver again in the
for
NFL.
sure.
Yeah,
Sam
Dan
Laporta,
Campbell.
Sam Laporta is an offensive rookie of the year finalist.
Now,
Um,
Zach Ertz has, as of earlier this week, been signed to the practice squad, and he's expected to be active for the AFC Championship game. What's the deal with Laporta?
well, no, I think no, I saw earlier actually that he's not expected to be activated before the NFC Championship game.
Well, I mean,
So,
I
so
guess to
like,
get your guys some good reps or whatever.
yeah. Oh, but I mean, do you think that Zach Ertz just straight up just coming in like this is better than Laporta or no? What do you think?
Oh no, not necessarily. No, I'd probably rather have Laporta right now, considering
Yeah,
Ertz is just fresh off the
I
streets.
had
But
him.
no,
I
I
had
just thought he
Laporta.
was really
I had
smooth.
Laporta on my fantasy team. He helped me get to the championship game.
Dude, I just think
Um,
Goff is playing
their
amazing.
offense, right, dude? Their offense is potent. Like you have a bunch of people that can do that can
Gibbs.
make plays. Jameer Gibbs, like they found their offense. Like somebody's gonna end up eventually leaving and getting the bag from another team. But like, bro, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I'm sure is still on his rookie deal. Because this is like it's like his third season or something. Sam,
Uh, yeah, it's only been a
right?
few. I think his rookie year was Dane Campbell's first year. I think, like 3 years ago.
Okay, right. So, um, what's it called? But like that offense, and Jared Goff is not necessarily that old. Was he like 28 or something like
He's
that?
young still. Yeah, I mean, he was the number 1 pick, what, 7 years ago? Like, that's still like what, 26,
So he's
27.
like
Like,
20. So he's like
Jared
28 or
Goff
something
is
like that.
nowhere near over the hill.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, look. So the Lions are set up. The Lions are set up for the future, 1,000%.
Oh,
Like
they're
they're gonna
young.
be
That whole
exciting.
team is
They're
young.
so young. Jameer Gibbs, Sam Laporta coming in the same draft class. Like I said, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's nasty. He's a speedster, but he's also like um, physical, makes disgusting catches, big ass body. Like he's like a prototypical receiver for this game for today's game. I feel like, and and they got. I think they have solid Pete. Like they have like Frank Ragnow. I think like they have a solid offensive line. Like dudes that they can. Oh, Panay Sewell. Panay Sewell is their stud on the offensive line.
Yeah.
He's showing why he was a fucking top 20 pick or something like that, top 15 pick, and um, and then that defense too. Like you said, Aiden Hutchinson, crazy. Like he's in the same vein. Does he say about he plays about the same position as T.J. Watt, right?
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
that
it looks like
kind
he's
of thing.
normally just I'm not as
Russian.
big of a football guy, so I might not have caught that. But yeah, he's normally coming off the edge,
I think
rushing.
so. Just
Hit
about
guys
something
with a
like
little
that. Like
spin move.
him, like Max Crosby,
That's
in
that man is a beast.
that vein. But yeah, and they got who else they got on defense? They got Corn. They got Corn. I'm not as familiar with the most of the name, but don't they have something? They had a rookie Branch, the guy who had a pick six on Patrick Mahomes in the first game of the season, and
Oh,
how poetic would that be if the Lions end up pulling it off somehow and they face the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? That would be the script writers really went crazy this year. I'll tell you that much.
yeah, no. And the crazy thing, did you know this is not Detroit's first NFC Championship game?
Is that right?
They went in. I thought it was, but it was. They went in. I think 1991, and they played the Redskins and lost like 45-10.
Nah.
Um, but and dude, I really want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Like I am 100%, or not the Chiefs, the Lions. I'm 100% rooting for the Lions. Like I am
Yeah.
officially a fan for the rest of the playoffs. Like I haven't really rooted for except for my team. I haven't rooted for a team until this year. Like I'm rooting for the Lions. Like
Me
it's
too.
not
I
like,
feel
oh,
that
I
way
kind of
too.
don't really care. Like no, I want to see the Lions win.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like bro, their fans have been like that place
But
is rocking.
yeah, man. It's definitely gonna be interesting to say the least. Like you said, I definitely think that's how it's gonna go. Is if the Lions come out strong and they're handling their business early on, I think, in my opinion, I think the only real chance they have is to, well, it's the NFL, anything can happen, but the best chance they have, 100%, is to come out like swinging for the fences and hit a big play to swing the momentum in their favor early on.
To set the tone. And
To set the
what
tone.
I don't want to see happen. I don't want to see Dan Campbell lose the game with one of his aggressive coaching decisions.
Right.
We saw it the first game against Kansas City, and now we're going to the Niners are too good for that. Like they need to not give they can't give the Niners any opportunity.
Anything you give them an inch, they'll take a mile because they're that fucking good. Like that
Yeah,
offense is still as good as ever. Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle is still up there.
he dropped a pass last week.
Yeah, he did. I saw that. But he's almost just as valuable as a blocker as he is uh, as a pass catcher, as a weapon, and that's saying something because he's so explosive. He's not as athletic as like Kelsey, or maybe like what's another really good tight end. Um, I love my guy Pat Fryermuth. Pat Fryermuth is up there too. Shout out Muth. But no, like, and then you still got Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. Like, for what? It's because when I think like Kittle is like probably like one of the biggest keys to that offense, anyways. Like to making it go and to making it so versatile. Because when you got someone like that who can make those catches and run after the catch, but he's just as valuable as a blocker, like it's an extra lineman having out there, and that's enough. That's just another hole for Christian McCaffrey to run through. And because
Yeah,
Christian McCaffrey is as shifty as anybody, like he's a finalist for MVP, and I don't know. He was doing this in Carolina too. He was a beast in Carolina as well. So it's the Niners are just special. They're just special. It feels like it's kind of their time. I see the Niners as being, and not just that, because like I said, anything can happen. It's the NFL, but the Niners to me feel like the team who's most like destined to win it like this year, just with how everything's going and stuff like that. Their defense is insane. Like who they got Trent Williams on the offensive line, that helps, having like a top like three offensive lineman in the league. Um, but their defense too, Fred Warner. The fact that they got the rich get richer, getting Chase Young, like bro, that's like
yeah, it's
that's unfair. Like Chase Young he's still only like 24 years old. 20, yeah, he's only like 24. Like he's a beast.
And
Fred
that's what I'm
Warner.
kind of thinking about the game tomorrow. Like, it might just come to a point where we're just like, okay, I might just be like, okay, I was wrong. The Niners are just way better than the Lions. I
Right.
mean, let's not forget before they went through their struggles middle of the year, like they were easily the most like they beat Dallas 45-10. Like they were
Crushed him.
easily the most dominant team, and then they went through their little struggles. But I mean it. I don't know. I'm still not completely sold on Purdy, but that's a story for different. I mean, it's not even that I think he's bad. I'm just not
No.
necessarily like he could. I don't feel like hearing every time they lose a game for the next fucking 3-4 years. Oh my god, we need to trade a quarterback. Like if you're gonna get rid of him, do it now. Like he's a good quarterback. I just think that a lot. The fact that he's last year
He definitely
draft, people are
benefit.
waiting for
Yeah,
the other shoe to drop.
right. He definitely benefits from being in that. Like I think, like I mean, you could not just because he's definitely not on the level of Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. He's not elite yet, but he's for sure a good starting quarterback in this league. I think he showed that.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure, for sure.
because when you got players like McCaffrey and Kittle and Debo, like it's the effect of like you know, you making everybody or making people around you look better, basically, and that's what it's come down to, kind of. And I think and I'm not gonna go as far as to say that he just gets carried by the offense, but if Purdy had, for example, say like my Steelers offense, when the Steelers we got some playmakers and stuff, we got George Pickens, we got Farmers, we got Najee's good, but it's night and day. Like Pickens is not better than Debo, and Muth is not George Kittle. Jalen Warren and Najee Harris are not Christian McCaffrey. So there's levels to it. So like if you swapped well, I'll say Mason Rudolph because Mason Rudolph got us into the playoffs. But if you swap Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett, put them on the Niners and gave us Brock Purdy, like I don't think I still think the Niners are a favorite, kind of. Like I feel like they could be good unless the quarterback is just garbage, and just not a starting caliber quarterback. The Niners could be good with just about anybody. Now, but when you get to the say they had to face Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl or something like that, that's when it separates the boys from the men. When Pat Mahomes is just levels above everybody else,
Hmm.
but but the Niners, like you can't take anything away from them either. At the same time, like yeah, I feel like I'm on a tangent a little bit, but yeah, it just goes without saying that the Niners are just that good. They're just that good, and that's what it might come down to, is just being head and shoulders above everybody, above pretty much the rest of the competition. So it'll be an interesting game, but it might not be very interesting, depending on how the first quarter or first few drives go, basically.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I just can't wait. It's been just a great season. There's been so much stuff that surprised me all year. I know we did this with the point to kind of preview the games, but I'm so sick of the previews. I just want to get the game started.
Oh yeah.
Before we do get off, last night we had history being made. We had well what was there was a stat I saw earlier. It
Hmm.
was like this is this only night, or no, what was it, in NBA history, or only the third time in NBA history or something like that. I think it was where there was two guys twice in a season to score more than 60 on the same night, something crazy like that. But
Yeah.
anyway, just to summarize, Luca had 73 last night. I believe he had 10 assists as well.
Yep.
Dallas went into Atlanta and beat the Hawks. And randomly, as I was watching the game, the camera cut to Boosie streaming his chat. He's going good.
little
Can't say shit.
little little Boosie got a signed Luca jersey. That's insane.
Did he?
Little
It's
Luca
Boosie.
gave
What do
him a
we?
jersey.
But yeah, he was going crazy, and then while that was going on, I was actually watching the Phoenix Indiana game. Before I talk about Devin Booker getting 62 points, I wanted to say Indiana, they looked good. And Nembhard was looking good, especially down the stretch last night. He, excuse me, is essentially the one who won the game. He's the one that got I think he's the one that got the game winning basket, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but it was like an 18-point game. Indiana came all the way back and fucking ended up winning the game. I thought he got fouled at the end. But yeah, man, he's just a scoring machine, bro. Like that dude could just do whatever he was. He could get to his spot, and if he gets the shot off, he's deadly. Obviously, he can kill it from three. He's a good mid-range shooter too. And then you had Luca, obviously last night getting 73. The thing that's always amazed me about Luca, and I know it's he does it when you watch him wow you with his speed. He doesn't look insanely. It's just his change of pace. He understands pace so well, and he knows exactly where he not only sees the game well. I think he understands he's kind of like Kyrie in the sense he understands the game, where to pass, how to make the right play, whatever. But he understands how, I guess, physics work. I don't know, but he knows how to get that split second of getting the guy to hesitate and go
Who's
up
that?
on
Luka
the floor.
Doncic.
Yeah, he's
Uh huh.
just so great with just changing pace. Like
Yep.
it's he
It's
is
pretty
just
crazy
so
watching him.
so skilled.
He's crazy to watch. Yeah, like um, you know, um, we really are fortunate to be in this kind of generation of like all these players are so skilled. Like it's so crazy to watch. Like I can only imagine, our nephew Cohen who's gonna be 14 soon, like and it's dope, how he's just like his dad, and I guess kind of like us with like his knowledge of the game and stuff like that. It's really dope.
Hmm.
He's getting older and being able to talk to him about certain things and stuff. He knows so much about the game, but I can only imagine being that being that age, um and having all these like superstars to just watch, and it's just such an exciting time to be like a sports fan, but an NBA fan too. Like, because I love my Lakers, I'm ride or die for my Lakers, but I'd be lying if I said I don't. I just love consuming basketball and sports in general, and just because it's just such a great. It's just we're seeing just so many amazing performances and stuff, and it's hard to keep up with this shit sometimes. But the game is just heading in in just such a great place, and like Luca, like you said, Luca is Devin Booker. Devin Booker is a he's generational as well. Like he's definitely up there. He's amazing. But I feel like Luca's a little bit more of a unique and something like we haven't seen before, really.
Right, for sure.
If we're
Yeah.
being honest, like Luca is just, those European dudes are different. Like, bro, it's because bro was playing against grown men for like 3 fucking years before he came to the NBA. So, and I think it's like him and like Jokic. They said like, oh, scoring it like the international game is way tougher than the NBA as far as scoring wise and stuff. Just because of different defensive rules and stuff like that. But no, just in general, like Luca is definitely one of my favorite players right now. Like I love watching Shea Gildas Alexander too.
I'm a big fan of his.
He's got the Thunder looking so scary. And I was the other night I was using when I was playing against Cohen online on 2K. I was using the Thunder, and the Thunder are the youngest team in the league, and they're the goddamn one seed.
I
They're
honestly
definitely
think
they're
I
definitely ahead
I
of schedule.
I think they have a legitimate chance to make the finals. Like they have athleticism, like they're long to bother people. Shea, even though he's, the point guard, he's got some long arms. You got Holmgren, you've got Lou Dort, you got the Jalen
Of course.
Williams,
Yep.
and yeah, they're out there just running. Like they're just so. When I
Yeah.
watched them play the Bulls, I think it was I think it was the first game of the season. After like 5 minutes, I was like, okay, the Thunder are clearly better. Like they just they're just better.
Yep. And that's the direction that like I feel like the league is going. Is not every team is going to be as young as them. Obviously, this is like a special circumstance that they're this young and they got all these really good guys and stuff. But like that's the way the league's going. It's just more offensive oriented and stuff. And you're definitely gonna. I feel like it's gotten to a point where like a good offense is gonna be a good defense more. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. But like
No,
when you got
for
a team
sure.
with like firepower like that, and perfect example is SGA, who's like damn near like he's a point guard, but because like he's just such a his all around game is just so good. And then you got someone like you got that like modern guard who can distribute the ball and play make. He's akin to like Trey Young, but I feel like he plays more defense than Trey Young. Trey Young's smaller. Trey Young's just a shooter and a scorer, but Trey Young be dropping dimes. He leads the league in assists pretty much annually. But to have someone like Shea and then also Chet Holmgren, like the Chet versus Wemby over the next 10, 15 years is gonna feed families. That's like the
Yeah.
generation that's the rivalry of this new generation. At least head to head. And look, the Spurs are definitely 2 to 3 years behind the Thunder. The Spurs just got Wemby. The Spurs are bad. Like they're not good, but Popovich is still there, and Pop's got his fingerprints all over the franchise. So the Spurs over the coming years are definitely going to be on the upswing just because everybody's going to want to play with Wemby. It seems like
Yeah. Oh,
it seems
for
like
sure. But they
Wemby
fucking
makes his
suck right
teammates.
now.
No, they suck now. They suck now, and Wemby definitely. But like even the kind of games that Wemby's had already, like he's just special. They're just going to be special for years to come. So the league and the game of basketball are in a great place, I would say.
Yeah. No. And as far as The soup, yeah, you're right. There are, I think there's a lot more superheroes that people give them credit for. Because people always want to talk about the golden age of the '90s, but we grew up. I mean, well, shit. If we're talking about 14 with Cohen, when I was 14, you had Kobe, you had LeBron, who had just made the finals, you had McGrady, you had Iverson was I think playing for like the Nuggets at the time. You
Mhm.
had, or maybe he was with the, maybe he was already on the Grizzlies. I don't know. But we had some of the biggest. Honestly, every era like the thing about this is the three of the biggest I mean, think about the MVP voting for what like last 2 3 years. It's been Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. And I think Embiid's marketable. I think Giannis is marketable. The problem is the dude on the of the championship team is boring. Not boring. I don't really think he's boring to watch. Like I love
Man.
he kind of
Yeah.
slow,
Oh
but
no,
it's
I
beautiful
love
to watch
watching him.
play. But
Yeah.
he's standoffish.
Right.
He just kind of goes to work. I mean, which does his job, which is great. But he's not out there, smiling like LeBron, like Magic. He's not out there
Hmm.
doing. He's done a couple of. Did
He's
you
a
see?
killer, bro's a killer still. I think he just when he's on the court, he just cares about basketball and making the right play. And he's so it is it. The casual fan might say, no, the Nuggets are boring. I hate watching Jokic. He's boring because he's slow. But if you the shit that Jokic does, nobody else does it. So like if at the end of the day, he's just obviously he's a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, and Embiid though, when Embiid looks dominant, Embiid is the best player in the NBA, the most dominant player in the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
because Embiid is just wow, dude.
Embiid's
The
gonna
Wim, I watch him when
Joel Embiid's gonna fuck
Wimbenyama
around and
played.
help. Joel's gonna help us get a gold medal if he wants to play with you with USA.
I watched Giannis and Wimby play each other. That game was crazy. I remember when I saw him throw that shit off like I think he was like behind his back off the glass. I was watching it. I was
Uh-huh.
like, what? Hold on, before we get off, did you see the clip of the? It was at a Lakers game. It was on a Sunday. I forgot who they were playing. It was Sunday night, and there was a dude that took a half court shot at halftime for like I don't know $50,000 or something like that, and he hurt his knee. Did you watch that, or did you see
No,
that?
I don't think so. I might
Bro,
have. I'm
I
not
was
sure.
watching it live because Streamy or the excuse me, not Streamy, it's the site that everybody uses to watch sports games. It's NBA League Pass, so it shows you all the shit that's going on inside the arena or whatever. This
Uh-huh.
dude took a half court shot, to win some money or a car or some shit, and he missed. And like as he was like jogging off, I don't know, he wasn't looking. I think he tripped over like a sign or something, and he like fucked up his knee or his ankle. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen watching TV live. I'm like, oh shit, like he hurt, and then he got up trying to play it off, and his shit must have just went out because he just the dead ass. Go on YouTube and type in Lakers fan half court shot hurts himself.
I'll,
But
I'll look into that.
yeah, it's been a pleasure though.
Yes,
We're gonna
sir.
get you on the actual podcast one of these
Hell
days.
yeah. Hell yeah. Let me talk. Let me get ingratiated with the gang. Uh, form some inside jokes. Be part of the mixed reactions lore.
Fucking well, enjoy that pizza and enjoy
Yes, sir.
California.
And I am going to enjoy the Royal Rumble.
What time does it
Let's
start again? 5?
like five. Yeah. Fucking let's go. CM Punk's gonna win it. We love to see it. Most likely. Maybe we'll see. But yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you again for calling me and letting me shoot the breeze.
Yeah, so I'll try to have it up within a couple of hours, and it's been my pleasure. And Mixed Reactions community, if any of you guys want to be on the show, just let me know. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss it out on any
Yeah.
new videos. Good night,
Ring that
Canada.
bell. Good night, Canada.